Hello and welcome to Tiny Marketing. I'm Sarah Noel Black and I teach small marketing departments that are tired of feeling overwhelmed and under-resourced how to build and manage an effective and efficient marketing strategy that works for them. You get expert marketing advice from someone who's been there, done that. Get ready, it's time to dig in. Hey friends, do you ever think about the retention of your current customers? We all know it, but we don't want to talk about it. It costs more to acquire a new customer than it does to extend the life of a current customer. And today I'm talking to Rai Cornell, the founder and CEO of Cornell Content Marketing, and she is an expert at marketing for subscription companies, which rely pretty heavily on customer retention. So she's going to be telling us about her unique way of retaining customers using content marketing. You won't want to miss it, and it's coming up right after these. Thank you so much for joining me today. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, so I am Rai Cornell. I'm the owner and senior copywriter of Cornell Content Marketing, and I also run a consulting business, Chiron Consulting.
Very nice. I'm excited about this topic. We've never talked about retention, and it's so important.
Yes, it's so important because I'm sure a lot of businesses have heard that it's far cheaper to retain a customer, to keep the same customer coming back than it is to go acquire a new one. Mm-hmm. And so that retention piece, I feel like a lot of businesses know that, but they don't really know how to actually implement retention strategies that can make that process of increasing the lifetime value or LTV of each customer even better.
Yes, and you're going to be talking about how to do that with content marketing, which is just a different way to think about it, because usually it's about, customer service and added value, where this is looking at it in a new way.
Yep. Exactly. And so with content marketing in particular, content marketing is just like it sounds, using content that you put out there to convey your value, your authority, what customers can expect when they actually buy from you. And so using content marketing, you can actually improve the retention of your existing customers.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the hotness that is retention, can you help me make my playlist? I'm making a playlist of all of my guests' favorite songs or their happy songs, and I want yours.
So I don't know that it's a happy song, but my favorite song right now, which gets me really pumped up when I'm on my way to the gym or if I'm doing yard work or something like that,
I call that a happy one.
is Catfish Billy by Yellow Wolf.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I'm looking it up right now. I have Spotify pulled up.
Don't play it. It's extremely explicit. I'm a San Diego girl who moved to the Bible Belt, and so it just gets me in that Southern rebel craziness mindset where I'm ready to go into the MMA gym or ready to tackle some yard work or something.
I'm adding this now. I'm right in this moment. And it's been added. I won't play it anyway because there might be some copyright issues, and I don't need them suing me. Okay, back to retention. Mm-hmm. So first, tell me why retention is so important for your business and why business owners should start thinking about this.
Yeah, so a lot of the aspects of retention serve dual purposes within your business. So for example, if you use content marketing as a retention strategy, maybe that looks like you're creating exclusive content for your customers or your members. Let's say you're in the subscription industry or you own a Orange Theory fitness franchise or whatever it might be, whatever your business is, you might be creating exclusive content for the people who have already bought from you. Then you can repurpose that by using little snippets of it, whether it's audio clips, video, blog content, and use that in your marketing. So to attract new customers. So if you think about that retention piece first, oftentimes it serves to support other areas of your business. When you create, let's say, a customer nurture email sequence, that is also a retention strategy, but it might also serve to support your customer service team and reduce the number of inquiries that are coming in. So it not only increases your LTV, which means you have to work less hard to keep more revenue coming into your business, but also it fills other gaps that are likewise going to cost you time, money, and resources within your business.
Yes. And that just reminded me, you specialize in working with subscription businesses.
Yes, I do.
This makes a ton of sense because retention is even more important in that industry and in memberships. Because without them, it costs a lot of ad dollars to acquire a new customer.
Exactly. And so, in order to support the ad spend that you need in order to grow your subscriber base, you need to have a healthy pool of existing subscribers who stay with you month after month after month. You don't want subscribers who only join for 1 month, get that maybe like first month free or first month half off kind of deal, and then they leave after 1 month or they leave after 3 months after they've gotten all of your exclusive content. That's not what you want. You want people to stay for the long haul. And so, in order to have that annual recurring revenue, you need to focus on retention. And luckily, as I was mentioning before, it's not one of those things where if you focus on retention, you have to sacrifice something else. No, by focusing on retention, you are actually going to be creating resources, assets, and marketing materials that will take care of every piece of your funnel along the way, including lead gen.
All right. So, can you tell me what the top retention strategies are that you would use for a typical subscription business?
Absolutely. So, number one is creating some form of community. This can be a linguistic nuance. So, for example, BoxyCharm, they would call their subscribers charmers. And by emailing their existing subscribers and saying, "Hey, charmer," they're creating that sense of community even just with a single word. Other companies like Splendies, for example, they have a entire Facebook group. It's going to sound very strange, but it's legit. If you're not familiar with Splendies, it's a subscription for women's underwear. And these subscribers can go into this Facebook group and say, "Hey, I got some cute leopard print ones this month, but I don't like leopard print. Who wants to trade?" And so people will
Underwear
actually trade underwear, unused, of course. But that has created a community where people feel like they can joke around about underwear and like how it makes them feel and how it impacts their life and all of these things. So people want to stay in that Splendies community longer rather than going to a competitor, for example.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of people are attracted to the community when they're purchasing something,
Yes.
and you can get that through subscriptions.
Yep, exactly. And so, in terms of content marketing, maybe you create an exclusive newsletter or exclusive video content. Another subscription box that I've worked with is Kids Art Box, and they create video tutorials of what to do with all the excess art supplies that come in their boxes. So, let's say a kid finishes all the activities that came with the box, they still have some extra poofs and popsicle sticks and pipe cleaners. They send out videos on what to do with those excess materials. That's something that only subscribers get, and parents really rely on it. They come to rely on it and they come to form a sense of community around it so that they have something to distract their kids and to have as their family activity for the week.
Yeah, that is nice. And I can see this rolling over into memberships too. Do you think that this same strategy would work for like people who have a Patreon?
Absolutely, because you need to keep things fresh. When it comes to retention, people do want to feel like they belong, but they also don't want to feel like things are stale or stagnant or like they've gotten the most that they're going to get out of it. You have to keep adding new things, and that provides that allure of, "Ooh, what's coming next?" Or "I wonder what they're going to give out next." Or "I wonder, what else am I going to learn? I don't want to miss out." There's kind of that fear of missing out piece. And so by having that steady, consistent cadence of content creation that you can then break up and use little snippets of in your marketing, in your nurture. You can give people on your leads list a little sneak peek into what they're missing out on to encourage them to make that jump into being a subscriber. And so keeping it fresh serves so many purposes and makes people feel like they don't want to end their subscription or their membership, because then they're not going to get access to who knows what's coming next.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, how do you guide businesses into which direction to go with these retention strategies?
It really depends on what the product or service is that they're offering. It has to feel authentic and genuine to their unique business as well as to their unique audience. So you can have two businesses that offer pretty much the same thing, but they're going to have a different vibe to them. They're going to have different brand personalities. They're going to attract in different customers. And so you really have to connect what is the value that your business provides. You have to connect that piece with what is the value that your customer base is craving. And if you can identify those two pieces and see where they overlap, that's where you're going to find the sweet spot.
So, where do people get it wrong, get retention marketing wrong? Are there any key factors that they really need to include that they're often not?
Yeah, I think one thing that I see most often in what businesses get wrong is businesses just thinking about, what do we want to say? What do we want to put out there? What do we want to create? And that's all well and good if it just so happens to also be what your audience wants. But if you're only focusing on you, you're really missing an opportunity, because even just a slight change in the title of a webinar or the title of an ebook or the focus of a video series or the guest on a podcast can make all the difference in whether your audience is going to see value in it or not. So a lot of companies think they have to put on this facade of, we are so confident, we know exactly what we're doing, we've got this all figured out, and they shy away from asking their customers and their audience, what do you guys want? What would you find helpful at this stage in your life and at this stage in your subscription? Asking those questions is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign that you care about your customers. They feel heard. They feel even more included in the thing that you're building. And then you know exactly what to create and what's worth your time, energy, and resources to put out there.
Beautifully said. So many people are afraid to talk to their customers and find out what they want to hear about.
Yeah,
You're only making educated guesses unless you actually have a conversation.
exactly.
So, what is your method for asking? Do you send an email? Do you survey them?
Yeah, it depends. It depends if the business already has an existing community. If they do, great. Go straight to the community, straight to the people who are already subscribers, long-term customers, because those are the people that you want more of. You want more of those committed long-term buyers. If you don't already have that community, then it's about branching out into different audiences. Go back to the basics. Go into open Facebook groups and ask a question. Go on LinkedIn and post a poll. Go to Reddit forums. If you have a product-based business, go to Amazon and look at your competitors' products and look at what reviews people are leaving in the positive and the negative to see what people actually care about when it comes to product quality, value, and experience. So go out and have those conversations with people, because ultimately everyone has an opinion, especially nowadays with social media. Everybody wants to comment, everyone wants to be heard. The worst thing that can happen is you get a little overwhelmed with so many great responses. So just go out there and ask.
That's great advice. So, how can people find you online and work with you?
Yeah, so on the content marketing side, you can go to cornellcontentmarketing.com. And yes, that is Cornell, like the university. And we have done for you services where we do brand voice copywriting, content creation, strategy, SEO, and blog content creation. Or we also have a couple courses coming out for companies that can't afford to outsource their content marketing. I'm going to teach you all of my tips and tricks from 15 years in this business, backed by my background in psychology and human behavior. I'm going to teach you all these things that the marketing industry never talks about that have made our clients so successful.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yep. Thanks so much for having me.
It's been a good time. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Tiny Marketing Show. I hope that you walk away from this episode really understanding how to retain your customers through content marketing. This goes for every industry type, but it's especially true with membership sites. You need to be able to have that content, that consistent content, to really retain them so they feel like they're getting value out of what you're providing. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, comment wherever you're watching or listening to this, and join me next time for the Tiny Marketing Show. Thank you. Thank you for joining Tiny Marketing. I help tiny marketing departments create consistent content that builds trust with their audience. Book Done For You content marketing at sarahnoelblock.com. Don't forget to follow the podcast on your favorite podcast app. And if you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn, make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button. See you next time, friends.